G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we are on Cliffside to watch two Conqueror 3 players face off on the ranked ladder. Today we got a good one for you. Why is it a good one? Well, we got an OG civilization, the French, up against the brand new Japanese variant, the Sengoku Daimyo. Ladies and gentlemen, let us introduce our players for today. In the north of the map, in the colour yellow, playing as the French, we've got our Chinese friend. And on the south side of the map in the color cyan, playing as the Sengoku Daimyo, the Japanese variant, brand new, hot off the dynasties of the east, it's Fei-chan. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. Bit of a strange opening that we've got right here. Not one that you typically see for this civilization. Normally what you're seeing for this civilization is opening up with the Matsuri very early and then looking to get the Yatai out. But we don't see that here. Instead, we look to see Fei playing the Sengoku Daimyo like you would play any other civilization, and that's not leaning into the Matsuri, which is strange. But to say things about Fei that, you know, normally if you were to describe her play, you would probably use the word strange. So this right here is absolutely par for the course when it comes to Fei. Anyway, I'm confident it's going to be a good game, and you know what else I'm confident about? Ladies and gentlemen, of course, you'll be familiar with the Outback Octagon. It is returning November 19th, so make sure you come check it out over on Twitch TV. Of course, if you don't want to catch the action live, that's absolutely fine. All of the games will be uploaded over on YouTube anyway, so do not fret, do not worry. You'll get to see all the action. Anyway, let's check in on our French player, see what he's up to, because I suspect he's probably going to be doing, well, typical French things. We see a classic build order, one that we've seen for many years here, the early wheelbarrow opener. Do we potentially see professional scouts out today? Probably not. I mean, you do get a cheaper professional scouts with the French, but why do you need professional scouts? The truth is, you've already got map control because you've got knights. So why don't you just go take those deer on the map instead? Yeah, it's a little bit more walking time, but you can leverage all those extra resources that you've got into units and really look to apply pressure. Another option that you've got is the second town center. We have seen many a French player look to try and utilize that, but we've got age up starting to come through. And it's the Cocoa Township now for Fei on the south side of the map. And no real surprise here. You know, initially when I was comparing the pair when it came to the landmarks, you look at the Ryokan and on the surface, it looks really good. You're like, yeah, an extra 60 population, that's basically 300 wood, free off the bat, and healing 3 every 5 seconds when out of combat. That's basically like your Abbey of Kings. Seems like a pretty good combo. But then, over time, people learn the true power of the Cocoa Township, which, to be honest, is completely broken. I've been playing quite a bit of Sengoku Daimyo on the ladder, and one of the things that I've learned is that there's just no downsides to this landmark. It is incredibly powerful. Number one, your ability to just see what your opponent is up to any time that you like, you can find out so much useful information. So as an example in this position, if we take a look at what Fei knows, so Fei doesn't really know much about the opponent other than there's a mill here. So when she ages up, she can just use her search ability right here and just see exactly what the opponent is doing, what age up they went with, whether they've added an archery range, maybe even if she gets a good enough position on it, whether or not there's a mining camp on the stone outcropping. Now, of course, she could just go see that with her scout, but maybe she wants to go do other things. Maybe she wants to go and scout the enemy. On top of that, you've also got the ability to call in the shinobis, and they start off, it's a little bit slow. You're primarily just using them for the fact that they slow the enemy down and they increase the damage that they take. However, as the game progresses, the power of the of the ability increases as well. It starts at 4, then goes to 6, then to 8, and those grenades do not mess around. They are so damn powerful. But we'll check in a little bit later on with our French player as the age up has come through, and you can see Fei right there is just going to pop down that line of sight straight in the middle. She sees everything. She knows how far along the age up is, how many sheep are under the town center. I think she can even tell the color out of the underpants of the opponent. But there we go. Now the shinobi's going to be coming through here. It looks like she's just utilized the ability right here. You can only use them on stealth forests or on your buildings. Age up about to come through here for our French player, and you can see the first, I love that she's only bringing one shinobi forward as well, doing this. Okay, the other 3 are now going to come up as well. You can see she's just slowly rotating it, and the damage on this is like, it's actually decent. Like, even at this stage of the game, you're forcing your opponent off the gold. This is at 5 minutes. These units were for free. There's no way this stays like this. This is completely broken. And it just feels really, really good. And I think that's part of the reason why she's looked to leverage this civilization aging up very quickly compared to most players who look to play it a little bit slower. But we now start to see the barracks going down. She actually cancels the first barracks, probably looking to position a little bit more towards the front of her base. Scout slowly losing out health. There's the Royal Knight coming out, and of course we don't care if we lose this Shinobi. It's only got 40 health, but we got it for free. And besides that, it's only got a limited number of uses. So Faye gonna try and do everything she can to abuse the overpowered nature of this civilization. One thing to note, though, is she's completely avoided the Yatai up until now. We see the first Yatai coming out. Now, there could be a strategic reason for this as well, right? If you're up against the French, you got to remember that this civilization is particularly good at killing things, especially good at raiding. So if we look on the minimap and we say, okay, well, what if we put our Yatai out here on the huntable boar or over here on the deer? Well, what happens when the night comes along? Now I've just got to retreat it back to the base. And there's no point in having a Yatai in the middle of my base that's gathering up. And then if another one has to come back, it's just going to sit there basically idle. So perhaps Faye's read the temperature of the room correctly here and said, well, we just won't bother. Spear now going to come through. We'll be able to block on the knight for the moment, able to hold. Only the 3 vills on gold here. Keep an eye on her upgrades to see whether or not there's any more that come through. And now going to pop the Shinobi here to try and help out with the defense. Not a bad use. The other thing to note is the cooldown on this bad boy is incredibly short. It's 90 seconds. These Shinobi last for, I think, 60 seconds? No, they escape after 90 seconds. So literally, you can just use this bad boy on cooldown all the time and always have Shinobi in your army. So very powerful. And the other thing to note is, like, just because you use the ability doesn't mean it's not on cooldown. Like, it's on cooldown the moment that you use the ability, but the Shinobi still stay, which basically means you can have Shinobi that are up pretty much 100% of the time, right? And like, let's say you're 60 seconds through, you've got 30 seconds left on the cooldown, you take a fight, your Shinobi start throwing their grenades, and just as their final grenades hit the enemy, they vanish, because that's how it works. They ran out of grenades, and then in about like 5-10 seconds, you've got your next ambush ready to go. So you can just kind of do back to back to back to back. It's powerful. It's really powerful. Now, what direction is Faye looking to play this here? We see a second Rax coming in here. One thing to note is that when it comes to the infantry of the Sengoku Daimyo, it's incredibly strong. Number one, you've got access to deflective armor on infantry, which is just absolutely chef's kiss. Number two, you've got access to very high movement speed spearmen, which is not typical. Some civilizations do have it, like the Holy Roman Empire, but having spears that are fast, it's very nice. Anyway, we'll check in on our French player and see how he's doing on the other side of the map. How are we looking for upgrades here? We've got double broadaxe, we've got wheelbarrow, we've got no horticulture just yet, no survival techniques, and we've got no specialized pick, unfortunately. But we do start to see a few more cavalry added onto the map, and at this stage of the game, Faye is just going to continue adding in spears to match them. 5 spears at the moment. Is she going castle? Oh, she's going castle. Look at that. Interesting choice as well. Interesting playstyle from her in the sense that she's just got the single Yatai out, because one of the things I feel is like, this civilization, oh my god. At first, I was worried that she's only got 5 spears and she's basically outnumbered by the knights. And then I saw the Shinobi. I'm like, oh no, she'll be fine. Oh boy, oh boy. It is not going to be like this forever. So look, get on the ladder, abuse it while you can. I'll say that right now. I know I'm having some fun with the Sengoku Daimyo. They have been, they're definitely a cool civilization. I like them. And I guess one of the things I like about them a lot is, like, you can play eco on them, but you don't have to go into a second TC. Because often when you go for a second TC, it can be a death sentence for most civs. Like, there are a few civs that can get away with it, right? Like the English can get away with a 2TC pretty easily. But it definitely feels like some civs are a lot more susceptible to that aggression. But now we've got back towards the base. Faye brings the vills back. She's very careful not to lose them, take any unnecessary damage. Shinobi's still over here, by the way. 5 spears, able to chase down the 3 knights, and once again, our French player retreats away from that front. No damage being done just yet, but does have a significant advantage when it comes to the army number. Now, another thing to note is I've kind of found this on this civilization when you're playing Sengoku is you often feel like you never have enough food. I don't know if it's just me, but I guess one of the things is you're often playing around very food-heavy units. You've got your movement speed bonus to your spears available at your clan. You've also got movement speed bonus to cavalry. And so one of the things that happens is you often find yourself going like spear together with horsemen. And this is obviously a very food heavy composition. So I find myself often very early on out of deer, or out of sheep, I should say. Deer a little bit less so. Deer is typically staying around for a little bit longer. How are we doing on the other side of the map? We got siege engineering coming through for our French player now. So an interesting development here, looking to really put on the aggression. We're at the 10-minute mark, so I would say this is not the earliest of siege engineerings, but this is still like, it's still getting up there. The trouble that you're going to have with the siege engineering this late is your opponent's probably going to get to castle. And if they get to castle, it's very easy to shut down. Normally, it's very easy to shut down this attack because all you would do is just go into Mounted Samurai. You simply just build 2 stables, make Mounted Samurai, and you just kill the attack. And that's pretty much it. That's how you would nullify this completely. And we can see on the side of the French now that there is still no racks that is yet to come up. We've got double stable, we've got double archery range, but we don't have a racks yet. And that can be problematic because a simple counter to this army is just going into Mounted Samurai. So we'll see whether or not Faye looks to play into that. We've got the Sake Brewery now coming up as well. Another thing to remember is that as you age up, your shinobi get stronger. You get more of them when you use the ambush. So I would be, in this situation, I don't know whether or not Faye has seen the battering ram. No, she does see the battering ram. So what I would be doing in this situation is rushing this age up so that in this situation you can pop the shinobi ambush to defend you. And then you can basically hold the all-in just using the shinobi ambush because it's that powerful at the moment. So we'll see whether or not that's the go-to here. There's quite a few idle villages. You could even pull these ones back if you wanted to. She's about halfway at the moment. She's fortified the outpost. That'll give her a little bit longer. 5 spears inside, going to climb out quickly. Managed to do a little bit of damage. Ville's now going to be falling back as well. She can pop the shinobis now if she wants to, but that is a bait. That is a trap. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You need to wait until you hit age 3. I think that's absolutely the game plan. If you pop it now, you might be able to hold, but you won't be able to clear. And that's the trouble that you've got. But with the next level of shinobis, you definitely should be able to. Once again, it looks like a little bit of miss micro here. Ideally underneath the town center. She wants to just be waiting here. Now the age up pop comes through. Pop the shinobis right here at the back. Ville's going to try and scramble. Spears managed to make it. There's the shinobi pop right now, and you can see immediately our Chinese friend is going to have to back on out of here, realizing maybe we've invested a little bit too, or gone a little bit too deep here. Ville's going to be helping out as well. Shinobis clearing it out. You can see they're up to 7 damage here. Most have thrown their grenades away, and just there we can see at this stage now, Faye looks like she's going to be able to hold with just the spearmen together with the shinobi. Does not need any assistance from anything else, and I mean, as I said, it's just a matter of time until this gets nerfed. I don't think it stays like this forever. I think at a very minimum, what you could expect to see is... Oh, she used it as well. I love this. Yeah, I've been doing this as well. So the Sake Brewery works the same way as the OG Japanese landmark. Excuse me, it's escaping my name. The one that creates the farms around it. So basically what you can do is you just build a wall and then just like only build like 1% of the wall, and then it will stop it from coming down the mats. So we've got 1, 2, 3 mats that come down here, and then another 2 that will come down over on this position, and you want to avoid that happening. The reason why is because you want it to be within the influence of the Matsuri. So if you can do that, it just guarantees that this bad boy is generating so fast. By the way, when you've got full upgrades on the Matsuri, so when it's at 30%, this is the equivalent of 3 villages on gold. I'm not kidding you. It is that good. It's crazy. Like, this is a 15 gold land or 15 villager landmark. Insane, insane. Of course, there's a couple of factors that you need to be playing along with. You need to make sure you got a 30% Matsuri. You need to make sure that it's within the influence of it, etc., etc. All right, we got the Hojo clan Daimyo estate, so definitely Faye looking to leverage the infantry today. We've also got the lightweight blades coming in for a little bit of extra movement speed and extra damage against workers. The trouble that she's got here is that we do have archers that are out, so expect to see shortly a shinobi ambush coming through any second here. Now, another thing to note is you want to avoid losing your Daimyo estates. They do cost stone. It's the equivalent of losing half a town center right here, or almost half a town center. So you ideally want to avoid it. If you possibly can. Spears, unfortunately, aren't paying attention, but it's okay. It was potentially a little bit of a bait right there from Faye. Manages to get the ambush pretty nicely. Battering ram still doing its work. No vills being pulled to repair just yet. I think it's going to go down here. The consequence of opening with a positioning like this, yeah, Faye unfortunately didn't really have a better option than this. I think maybe you could go in the back of the base, but with the Matsuri positioning here, I mean, this Matsuri should probably be up here though, and then that way you can hit Woodline as well as Gold Vein a bit more effectively. But now, underneath the town center, Yeah, I think that might have been the best option here. Yeah, you can see she's putting production down here. Yeah, in the back of the base. I think especially in this matchup against the French, you probably want to keep it in the back of the base. But now we've got ourselves plenty of spears under the TC. Where are those Shinobi? They're halfway through, 44 seconds. Vil's going to be coming in on the battle as well. Faye trying to do her best here. Vil count starting to look a little bit sad as she's down almost 20 villagers. Make it 20 villagers right now. 18 villagers, actually. Have we got ourselves a counter raid? We do have ourselves a counter raid. We got some spearman raids coming in. I was wondering what was going on there. I said, hold on a minute. Dude, look at the damage. Oh, my lord. What are we talking there? 10 damage with 5 against workers. They're 4-shotting workers. Holy moly. And they've got the extra movement speed. Keep that in mind. So we've got a 1.38 movement speed spearman. This is legit. Okay, Faye going absolutely ham here with this spearman. She's really trying to play this civilization the way it was not intended, but I absolutely love it. I love the idea of going for super fast spearmen and then just killing your opponent, raiding with spearmen. Because the other thing to note is, like, if your enemy... Okay, let's say you send a couple of horsemen over here to kill this mill, or to kill the vills on this mill. What's your enemy going to send? Typically, they're going to send spears to kill them, okay? Or they might send knights in this situation. But you sent spears, so your spears will not... They're not going to counter the enemy spears, but they're not going to die to the enemy spears. And if they send knights, well, you're going to get an effective trade there, as long as, you know, they don't have an incredible amount of units. But now, once again, those spears, look at the damage that they're doing. It's incredible. You don't expect them to be doing this much damage, and I guess our Chinese friend doesn't either, as the Vil count slowly getting worked out here. 23 Vils for Faye. Poor girl, she's lost 22 so far in this game, almost lost as many as she's got. And now the Shinobi coming out. I tell you what, there's only one thing that's really carrying her through this game. Oh, no, the Shinobis, not like this. They get a little bit of damage in. A bit of a waste right there. We can see them all being scrambled as they came down. 11 Vils taken out so far by Faye. So she's doing all right on trying to clap back to that opponent. But at this stage of the game, losing the Matsuri is quite significant because you lose that 10% boost. You're now losing the tempo associated with it. But to be fair, Faye wasn't really playing around the Matsuri in this game. So normally at 16 minutes, you would be at 30% gather rate. So that would be a massive loss. But it's not the case here. It's not that big. Wait, is Faye only playing spears? I just realized. I think Faye may only just be doing spearmen. Is this the new meme? Is this the new meme? Because, like, don't get me wrong. Spears are good. Spears are very good, and that is an unfortunate position right there. Spears are very good, and in particular, the Sengoku Daimyo spears are very good. So much so, I've heard whispers, people want them nerfed. That's how good they are. Because, like, we can't actually take a look at the unique upgrades that they've got right now, but they are powerful. If I remember correctly, they've got access to, obviously, the movement speed. They also get access to, I think it's an increase in ranged armor. I want to say it's an increase in maybe 2 ranged armor, which adds up, right? Especially if you're up against crossbow who don't get that bonus damage against you. It can definitely add quite a bit. But now we see another Rax coming down. Poor Faye, she's just getting chased around at this stage. But the crazy part is she's always still in this game. You know Faye. If there's one thing to know about Faye, it's don't underestimate her. Even if she's down 25 bills, she'll still find her way back in. She'll utilize every single bit of her civilization she can. She gets a nice little surround here, manages to do some decent damage on these Royal Knights. Keep in mind, age 2 still only for our French player today. Battering Ram is going to be able to work down these Raxes. They slowly manage to take them down. Unfortunately, the Sake Brewery not really doing much work here. Could you, I guess you could technically delete the mats that you didn't want. Like, if you didn't want this mat, you could delete it. Then it would replace it. But you'd have to, like, put the wall down in between it, in between it, like, placing it down. I guess you could do that. That could work. I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm thinking out loud. As a Sengoku lamer, I'm thinking out loud here. All right, we got ourselves a little bit of a cav switch or movement to the back here. Potentially thinking about aging up as well. 16 knights out on the field at the moment, 20 archers. And it looks like, unfortunately, our Yatai will get caught out. I'm not going to say they're buggy, but it just doesn't feel like they've got a lot larger footprint than what it looks like. Often I'll find them getting stuck, and I'm like, how are you getting stuck on that? It's like, it's 2 cav in a tree, and you're getting stuck on it? Like, that is crazy. Shinobi's up towards the top. We got ourselves Faye going for a little bit of a counter attack on the other side of the map. Spots out the Vils. Decent huge damage. Huge amounts of damage now coming through. Spear's going to try and make a connection. We'll worry about those villagers a little bit later. You can see those vanishing Shinobis happening. But once again, I mean, Faye's just going to get cleaned up by the archers. That's the other thing to note, right? Like, she's 100% committing to the bit, and that, I respect her for that. She's like rated 2000 ELO and is committing 100% to a spearman only bit. And it would work against lesser players, but unfortunately today she's up against a very good player, Conqueror 3. I don't know the exact rating on our Chinese friend here, but I think somewhere in the 1900 region. So definitely a competent player here. Faye is moving around with the Yatai. How many has she got? She's got the second Yatai out as well. Not doing a whole lot of work, that one, unfortunately. So she's got at least, well, had at least 3. This is one of those games where it's just like, even though Faye is so far behind, I still feel like she could win. Look at the Vil count. 29 versus 43. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad, especially when you consider the fact that these spears do not muck around, man. The main issue is how do you deal with how do you deal with the enemy killing you? That's the main problem that you've got. The longer the game goes, the less villages the enemy's going to have. That's for sure. As even more villages get cleaned up. And keep in mind, the extra movement speed's great because it also stacks with the charge that you're seeing right here. They're going to fall back. That was 4 free kills right there. I don't know why she's gone back. Maybe because she's had to deal with these Royal Knights back home. Vil's now down onto the bottom side. Faye really just scrambling to do everything that she can. More spears in the middle of the map. We'll find them. Oh, they've gone down together. You love to see it, don't you? Spearman doing a good job chasing away. More spears on the way back here. Charges coming out. She wasn't on attack move. She was only on move, and unfortunately, we saw our Chinese friend go for a little bit of a bait there, but unfortunately they got switched out. So you played yourself. You played yourself. Shinobi's now on the backside. Faye doing everything she can to get herself back into the game. This civilization is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if it's the civ. I don't know if it's the player. Because keep in mind, Faye is literally just like memeing at this point. We do actually see she's gone for a... Can we spot it? Yeah, it's down here. A Buddhist temple. So she's looking to pick up relics. So that's definitely a good sign for her. At the same time, our French player still just playing it out in feudal. Coca Township. Oh no, you can't take out the Coca Township. That's... Faye, if you lose that, you literally lose everything. Excuse me, Faye. We're going to need to defend this one. This one's important. We can't let this one die, Faye. We've only got 9 spears, though. That's the trouble. How do you defend this? Okay, you got to pull Vils to attack. Oh, it's over. It's over. How does she win from here? She can't win from here. The Coca Township's dead. If the Coca Township falls, the Sengoku Daimyo falls. Every piece of this civilization is this landmark. She's going to pop all of the spears in the town center and slowly work down these units. You can see it by the same token, we've got all of the enemy archers coming out. Very, very cheeky. Very, very cute. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of damage done right there. I like that. Did you see that? It was like the archers fired at the town center and the villager just died. Poor villager. Poor villager. Well, I think this might be it. Faye in a bit of a hard spot here. Has she got any way back into it? I mean, she's picking up... What? Oh no, she probably picked up a different relic. Yeah, okay. That I got myself a little bit scared right there. I was like, hold on, did she just duplicate a relic? It looked like she duped a relic just then. I've seen it before, I'll say that right now, but fortunately there's no Rus in this game, so we probably won't see it. Spear's able to take down the battering rams here as well. A little bit of free kills here. Archer numbers still looking healthy for our French player at 22 archers. I think the most important thing here for Faye is just making sure you've still got spears attacking villages. That's like the key to her staying in this game, is just constantly raiding with villages. Just find any resources that your opponent might be on and just looking to try and hit them. I think that's the key here. But we've got more battering rams now coming down, another 3 battering rams down to the south. This is an insanely chaotic game. What is this game that we're watching here? Faye now on 11 spears. Not a whole lot of resources in the bank. The trouble that you've got is if this gets found out, which I think it may have almost been found out, the enemy can just take it out. But we got more spears back on the way. 25 worker kills versus 28. She's back in it. I mean, 16 Vil different at this point. Do we have the age up? I thought I heard an age up. No, we didn't hear an age up. I don't know what that was. It was the sound of something. More battering rams coming through. Now Relic gets picked up, unfortunately. Don't say it ain't so right there. Royal Knight's going to turn around. She could look for a walla lol if she wanted to. We've got no spears up here. They're just chilling in the stealth forest for now. Does it get found out? Yeah, it gets found out. Everything gets found out right now. This is not good for Faye, because I wouldn't be surprised if we see everything just move down here immediately and look to clear this out. I don't know if you necessarily need to bring the battering rams, but ideally you don't want to let your opponent have this for free. Faye gonna try and attempt a defense here. Battering rams are just gonna go for the throat? I don't know about that. I'll be real with you. I don't know about that. I feel like you want to clear this out first, but I guess you could just go for the throat. I mean, all three landmarks are standing. We've got Coca Township being repaired. It's technically not alive. How are we doing on spear count? Spears are starting to improve. Vil's going to migrate out to the east. Faye's still down 20 Vils here, but she's taken out 27 this game. Inside the town center. I don't know what we've got in... Are there spears in the TC? I think there might be spears in the TC. I don't think it's Vils. Yeah, it's spears in the TC. It's like snakes on a plane, except spears in a game that are in the TC. Working down the Coca Township once again. You can see how much our French player knows how important it is to take out this Coca Township. Like, this is not permitted, this landmark. This, at all costs, must be taken out. Spears building once again. I mean, I can't believe this game, this is happening. She's somehow mounting a defense. You know, she could have just made like 4 mounted samurai and just would have won the game. The mounted samurai clear the battering rams. They clear the archers. They contest with the enemy knights, and then you can put on the pressure as well. But she wants to commit to the bit. You know, as I said, right? Like, people have been talking about these. This infantry that we've got from the Sengoku Daimyo, in particular, the spears are particularly effective because of their, once they get deflective armor going, they're just really good because you've got a whole bunch of units. You've got lots of units and they've all got deflective armor, so it makes it very nice. But I think she's cleaning up. There's only 5 archers on the field, and now 7 more coming through. Still no castle age, by the way. We're 26 minutes in here for our French player. It's been an absolute bloodbath. 31 Vils taken out by Faye, 34 taken out by her opponent. And now we've got the Coca Township. Is she stabilizing? I think she might be stabilizing. Throughout all of this, she may potentially stabilize. Now, keep in mind, she's also got the 2 relics that are going. We talked about why it was so important to clear this here. You can't allow this to stand. And now it really looks like that could be a big mistake. Is she doing it? Is there a chance that Faye brings this back? Now, keep in mind, we've still got this Coca Township that's down. Only 2 Vils repairing it up. Ideally, we want to start working on the Sarkib. Oh my god. Look at the amount of buildings that have just died here. So much destroyed in this game. Spears continue moving forward. Able to catch all of these archers here. They picked up all their upgrades for the moment, so they'll be fine. And now, we'll ride on board with our French player and watch on as we witness potential greatness here. Faye trying her best to get back into this game. Meanwhile, the Knights make their way around the south side. Keep in mind, the Sengoku Daimyo don't yet have that landmark back up, but it will be very, very soon repaired. You can see the amount of Vils she's brought to repair this. She knows how important this landmark is, and this is one of the key differences. If you can catch these Royal Knights here with these spears together, and that's the key thing. The key thing is they need to also have those Shinobi. And look what we've got up now. So right here, we need to wait for the spears to be close enough. Oh, you could bait. Let's see if they take it. A little bit out of position here. Have we got any stealth forest? No stealth forest nearby. Vils are coming forward here for that boar as well. Does the Yatai get spotted out? Yatai does get spotted out. Now, you should actually leave the Yatai up until you kill the boar, because you can see the boar is not taking any damage. I mean, or the boar is not taking aggro, I should say. But it takes aggro now. But I think the fact that the Yatai was there, we probably just had our yellow player just give up on that position, realizing that those spears will mean business very, very quickly. Okay, Shinobi, I was going to say, this is a perfect spot for the Shinobi. She's going to do it. Oh, my lord, she's getting back into the game. Spears absolutely massacring right now. She's trying to take out each of these units, but unfortunately, they managed to just get through the grasp. You can see those spears getting about 3 night kills there, which is not too bad at all. If you can get 3 night kills every time you utilize the Coca Township, you're going to be having a good time. Meanwhile, towards that top side, Royal Knight going to be able to take out our Iko Iki for the moment. We've got ourselves... I don't know whether or not we've got any... Oh, no, we do. We've got a Matsuri in the back here, but it's doesn't have a lot of Yatai working. Idle Vils to the south. Spearman number up to 22. Can you believe it? She might actually win this game. This is absolutely insane. I mean, to be fair, all the French player needs to do is just make archers. Right? Like, if you know Faye is just making spears, just make only archers, bro. Just make archers only and you'll be okay. All right, we got ourselves 3 more that go down. Barracks on fire, so you might need to get a girl out there or get ourselves a villager out there. Guildhall finally coming up at the 29-minute mark. It's taken some time, but in the end, we agree. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should go castle here. Castle might be an idea. Spears making their way out as well. We did have walls that were due to come up out here, but of course their villagers have been dealt with, unfortunately. We'll check in over on that east side once again. We'll ride on board with our French player as the battering ram is out. if I'm playing as the French, I mean, I don't really know what to do in this situation. I'll be real with you guys. Like, obviously you make archers, but how do you play this game out? Like, do you wall up? Well, you can't really wall up because your opponent can just siege them down. I mean, you can obviously still make the walls, but I think putting on the pressure is the right call here. Shinobi now. Big pop from Faye. Spear's going to do their best to chase down all of these units 29 minutes into the game, and they're making solid connections here. The trouble that you've got is that there's just not enough spears. 7 spears going down. I think this might be it. I don't see how she possibly gets out of this. This army's way too big. I tell you what, it's been a 30-minute game, but this has been absolute chaos, but I've enjoyed every second of it. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. It really just goes to show the extent a single landmark can actually affect the game. It is incredible. I mean, now, there's a couple of layers to this, right? Of course, we've also got the spears, the fact that they've just been doing their best to try and chase down every single villager that they can, but I mean, we've had a chat about this landmark today. I don't know, how do you go out fixing it? I've seen a number of ideas floated. Number one is like, give it a system the same way, like a levy system basically, where it has charges and then you can use those charges. And then I think after you use the charge, it would probably go on cooldown for a little bit. Then that way, the alternative is that like you use one or the other, you don't use both. So like you can either use the Shinobis or you can use the scouting, but you can't use both. And then that kind of stops the combo because, oh my lord, what have I done? There we go. Sorry, wrong button. Because essentially the issue that you've got is like this stealth forest as an example. Faye can just use the line of sight here and then pop them on the stealth forest because you need to have line of sight of the stealth forest to be able to call the Shinobis in there. But it's definitely one of those things where it's like it just doesn't feel like it should be that effective. It's very effective, and now more Shinobis come through. Beautiful little surround she does as well. Gets a nice attack move off, able to take out 1-2 of the Royal Knights. The main trouble that you've got, though, is your enemy is actually playing the game here. And I think you just really got to respect Faye's grind. You just really got to respect the fact that she is only making spears. It takes a very special type of autism to commit to this kind of play. We'll allow it, though. We'll allow it. Let's check in on our French players' side. They've gone for the guild hall today. We see it over on food, so it could signal that an Imperial Age may be coming in shortly. I don't know whether or not you'll need it. Basically, I think at this stage, all you really need are a whole bunch of battering rams with some archers, and you'll be absolutely fine. Ville's now going to try and pop out here. We do have the textiles upgrade, so they've got a little bit more health on them. You can see them working down. Faye's trying her best to get in, get out, and yeah, there you go. Now she got it. Yeah, you can see there's a cute little way that you can micro. I wouldn't necessarily call it bug abuse, but you can see. So the animation to play the torches is actually a lot longer than what it takes to actually throw the torches. So that's why you see them throwing the torches from within the town center. The same way that you often see the villagers die within the town center and then their body plonks out here. Is that the animation to hop in the town center, I think it happens at the end. Like, the villager disappears, but it still takes like another 0.3, 0.4 seconds. So that arrow that's coming out, it will still hit that villager, even though technically they're in the TC. Or at least they technically look like they're in the TC. They're not actually in the TC. So, that's it. Sorry, is this game still going? Are we still playing this game? We're 33 minutes into this game. And Faye still thinks she's allowed to play. I mean, there's a lot of battering rams, Faye. I don't know how you're going to deal with all that and a bag of chips. Like, we got ourselves quite a few units on the field here, but she's going to do her best to try. No access to Shinobi, and you know the reality here. With no Shinobi, there's no chance. The Coca Township has gone down. You can see why it's so powerful. Once again, that torch comes off. Beautiful micro from Faye. Does it again. Torching from the town center. Beautiful control. That's one battering ram down. Very effective control here coming out from Faye, but she's losing villagers slowly. You can see them focus down to 12 now as she starts working it out. Gets off another shot. That's such good micro, isn't it? God, you got to really admire that kind of micro. Spears have been working it down this whole time. Bills have been trying to do a little bit of repairing here, but I think at the end of the day, the numbers aren't going to matter. We're 34 minutes into this game. Faye, I don't like being told when to give up, and I don't like telling people to give up, but that was a good time to give up. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what a game. Make sure you check her out. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can catch her live. And, of course, make sure you check out Outback Octagon. It is returning November 19. Be there or be square.